So Pat Benatar was asked to take a break. Let people forget that she was actually in the cabaret, Broadway, opera type of singing. Take a break and reintroduce herself as a rock singer, and that's exactly what Pat Benatar did. It was in 1978 that Pat Benatar decided to officially introduce herself to the public as an aggressive rock singer. She was rejected by several labels before signing with Chrysalis. From the release of her first album, In the Heat of the Night, with the hit Heartbreaker, to the present, Pat Benatar's life has been public. She puts on one hit record after another and is back on the road after a brief hiatus. She writes lyrics with her husband, guitarist and music director Neil Giraldo. And in 1981, Pat Benatar had her acting debut in the movie Union City Blues. She married her current husband, Neil Giraldo, in 1982, and they had their daughter, Haley, this past year.
I don't know, she's great. She's a really good baby. She's got a really good temperament, and she's just made everything really clear. You know, everything is solidified now, in every aspect. I think when you have a child, all your priorities change, and you just get a clearer view of what your life is really about instead of what you thought it was about, you know. But everything is for the good. I mean, she really keeps everybody in a good mood. It's hard to be in a bad mood around a little smiling, fat-cheeked face, you know.
The video, Sex as a Weapon, and the song in general was interpreted by different people who were listening, you, the audience, in so many different ways. We asked Pat Benatar about the video, Sex as a Weapon.
I guess, the whole thing is meant to be taken real light. It's a tongue-in-cheek finger wag at all those commercials with sexual overtones. That's all. It's just meant to be silly and just fun. And, you know, we had a good time doing it because it was a lot of special effects and things, so it was fun.
Sex as a Weapon, the V66 Superstar Show. I'm Mary Jo, and tonight we're featuring Pat Benatar. We had a chance to talk with Pat Benatar. One of the things we asked her is, does she remember making her first video?
I have to say, actually, the first time I made a video, I wasn't that happy because they had pulled me out of I was in the middle of doing a tour, and I was exhausted and not really... the last thing I wanted to do was stand up there and jump around for a couple of hours, you know. And it was right during the time when a lot of talk was happening about the sex symbol image and stuff. It was way in the beginning when all that stuff, and it was really already starting to irritate me a lot. And the director of the first video that I did told me that I should stand there and shake my butt, basically, kind of thing, for this video, that I should look hot. And one of the reasons You Better Run probably came off as good as it did is because I was so angry the whole time. And that's probably why the attitude is so good on it.
And we have Pat Benatar describing a typical Pat Benatar fan.
I don't know, because there are all kinds of people. I got 35-year-old dentists, you know, and I got 13-year-old kids with braces, and we got headbangers, and we got a couple of punk kids, and we got real straight kids. I mean, when I look out at the audience, it's very diverse. I mean, there's all kinds of people out there. It's not really... When I first began, it was mostly, I would say, male audience. But as the years went by, I mean, it's really about 50-50 or maybe even 60-40 women now.
And how long does Pat Benatar expect to be in rock and roll?
I don't know. I'll just go as long as I can, as long as they want to hear it, and as long as I feel like it. You know, I'll stop when it feels foolish, or if I can't relate to what I'm doing and I have to pretend, then I won't do it anymore. You know, if it doesn't feel comfortable, if I've outgrown it, or what, I don't know, whatever happens to you. I mean, you know, rock and roll is an attitude as much as anything else. So. I think you have the attitude till the day you die. It's just a matter of whether or not you feel comfortable portraying the attitude. Hi, New England. This is Pat Benatar, and you're watching V66, New England's favorite music video station in stereo.
And we'll be back with more on Pat Benatar and her videos, and also Shadows in the Night right after this. This is the V66 Superstar record track. A look at the albums, and tonight we're featuring Pat Benatar. Her debut album came out in 1979 on Chrysalis, the platinum in the heat of the night with the hit Heartbreaker. Also platinum in 1980 released Crimes of Passion with Hit Me With Your Best Shot and You Better Run. Precious Time came out in 1981, another platinum album for Pat Benatar with Promises in the Dark, Fire and Ice, and Treat Me Right. This is the V66 Superstar record track, and tonight we're featuring Pat Benatar.
Hi, this is Pat Benatar, and you're watching V66, the beat of Boston.
You take a song like the Ooh Ooh song. The lyrics are so easy, anybody can sing along to this song. You wonder where exactly those lyrics came from. Well, it's something we asked Pat Benatar.
That song we wrote during Get Nervous, and I had some kind of an argument, and I just started to sit down and just, I didn't really write out lyrics, but when we started to write the music for it, I didn't want it to be a heavy song, so we made it real silly and light so that you'd get the point across, but it would just be, you'd hear it, but you'd have a good time as you were hearing it come across, so.
For tonight's V66 Superstar Trivia question, we have a copy of Seven the Hard Way, the 7th album from Pat Benatar, with tonight's trivia question. And the question is, what was the name of the club where Pat Benatar was discovered? This is also where she got her current manager, who was the club owner. So just give us the name of that club. 931-1066. First person through with the correct answer gets a copy of Seven the Hard Way from the V66 Superstar Show. And we continue our special on Pat Benatar and a look at her albums in tonight's record track. This is the V66 Superstar record track, and tonight we're featuring Pat Benatar. Album number 4 was released in 1982 on Chrysalis, Get Nervous, and included Shadows in the Night. 1983 saw Live from Earth, Pat's live LP, and in 1984, Tropico with the hit We Belong. In 1985, album number 7 called Seven the Hard Way with Sex as a Weapon. This is the V66 Superstar record track. A look at the albums, and tonight we're featuring Pat Benatar. And we'll be back with more on Pat Benatar. We also have the answer to tonight's trivia question, our super battle winner, and the super video of the day. All this and more happening right after this. Now there's no turning back till you say we belong to the light. We belong to the sound. We belong to the sound of the world. We won't fall under. Thank you for joining us on this very special Superstar show tonight. We feature Pat Benatar, and we were very fortunate to get the interview with Pat Benatar at the Centrum in early March, which are what you're seeing here are different blurbs or different Pat Benatar answers to some of the questions that we had an opportunity to ask her. Also, if you were wondering where the footage was coming from on some of the footage you've seen through the show, that's actually a sound check through the afternoon before she put her concert on. They were checking the mics, etc., exactly what they do when you're waiting in line to get your tickets. So that's where all the footage came from, too. So it was all locally done at the Centrum, and we want to thank everybody who was involved in that, especially Roxy Mizell, who did a lot of work to get the interview. One of the things we asked Pat Benatar about was her We Belong video and song, and that's what we'll close the show out with tonight.
I mean, it just fit perfectly considering the frame of mind I was in, because I was pregnant and everything. It was really much more low-key and softer approach, and it was such a positive song, and, I don't know, I just think that it's a beautifully written song, and the melody is really nice, and the lyrics are very caring and everything, so, at the time it was especially perfect for what I wanted to do,